I noticed that procrastination and indecision is the most common issues when it comes to growth. Almost everyone has experienced procrastination at some point or another. Now, let's look into a common misconception about procrastination that needs to be cleared. You will often hear that it's linked to laziness, but it's not as simple as that. Just imagine you have a stack of emails to go through and keep putting it off. It's very easy for someone to call you lazy, but the real reason behind your procrastination might be anxiety about the workload. Suddenly, it's not about laziness anymore. Procrastination and emotions are like old friends who just can't seem to part ways. Hello and welcome to Super Entrepreneurs Podcast. I'm your host, Shahid Durrani. Today we are diving into a topic that affects us all in business and life. It's called procrastination. The biggest misconception about procrastination is that it's labeled as laziness. However, it's not that simple. Stick around until the end because I will share the real story behind procrastination. Procrastination isn't about putting things off. It's about our emotions beneath the surface that steer our actions and inactions. That is why I am enthused about our episode today. We will explore the emotional aspects that fuel procrastination and how to understand these feelings that can help you break free from the procrastination trap. So what is procrastination all about? It's the art of delaying tasks or actions that we should be doing now. You must have experience putting off things until the last minute, postponing things that you promised yourself to do. Procrastination is more common than you think. If you think it's just you that procrastinates, it's not true. I noticed that procrastination and indecision is the most common issues when it comes to growth. Almost everyone has experienced procrastination at some point or another. Now, let's look into a common misconception about procrastination that needs to be cleared. You will often hear that it's linked to laziness, but it's not as simple as that. Just imagine you have a stack of emails to go through and keep putting it off. It's very easy for someone to call you lazy, but the real reason behind your procrastination might be anxiety about the workload. Suddenly, it's not about laziness anymore. Procrastination and emotions are like old friends who just can't seem to part ways. One of the most common emotional triggers for procrastination is the fear of failure. Imagine you are launching a virtual event for your product or service, and you emotionalize a thought about the event not succeeding, and your heart races. You feel it in your body. Another negative thought comes by and reinforces that fear further. This fear can lead to delaying tasks. You feel by avoiding them, you are avoiding the possibility of failing. Then there's perfectionism. It sounds pretty positive trait, but it leads to procrastination. When you set high standards for yourself, you may become paralyzed by fear of not meeting them. You keep putting it off because you want everything to be just perfect. Self-doubt is another emotion that teams up with procrastination. You start questioning your abilities and potential for completing a task. Self-doubt leads to avoidance, even when you are absolutely capable of completing the task. You have the skills, but the inner dialogue holds you back. How about anxiety? Procrastination can make you feel like you are escaping that uncomfortable feeling. As you can see, procrastination is often an emotional tug of war. These emotions can paralyze even the most skilled and capable individual, preventing them from taking action. But don't worry, you can overcome procrastination. The most significant driver of procrastination is the fear of failure. Those inner conversations about doubts and worries. We place so much pressure on ourselves to succeed. For example, what will people think if I fail? Or what if I don't do a good job? When I was running our medical clinic, I knew I needed to create constant short video clips of our medical professionals doing treatment to educate our audience. But I would always entertain an idea not to do it. Even when I made an internal commitment that starting Monday, we will post regularly. We would do it a couple of days, but the inner conversation would talk me out of it. I would hear, excuse me, what if the quality of our clips is not as good as other clinics? Or what if we don't cover the right topics? I ran to my comfort zone and just didn't do them. You can find many examples like this in your life. By becoming more self-aware, you will notice them. Actually, you will become aware of many beliefs that are maybe holding you back. Fear can seep into every aspect of our lives. You might start doubting your abilities, feeling like an imposter, or fearing your mistakes will ruin everything. These thoughts can paralyze you. But here's the thing, failing is part of our journey. We cause stress in our lives when we struggle with things that must happen. Failure must happen. It's part of the business journey and life in general. We should look at building a better relationship with failures so we can overcome procrastination. Failures provide us lessons which we can learn from. Someone once said, failure is success tax. We must all pay it. I interview successful entrepreneurs from all over the world, and they all paid this tax. What may seem like an overnight success is actually filled with failures to get to where they are today. Let's look at self-doubt. Imagine there is a talented writer who dreams of writing a bestseller book. However, she or he constantly questions her ability or his ability within. What if my writing isn't good enough? Self-doubt makes it challenging for him or her to even start writing. That nagging voice within says, you're not capable, you'll never succeed, you're not worthy, traps us in a cycle of hesitation and procrastination. Before we get into how to work with this, it's crucial to understand the role of self-awareness. Becoming aware of those emotional triggers is like shining a light in a dark room, makes everything clear. It takes practice, but the more you do it, the easier it becomes. Recognizing your emotional triggers without judgment whether it's fear, perfectionism, self-doubt, or anxiety, by being aware of them and embracing these feelings because they are part of the human experience. You can start to untangle their hold on your potential, your true potential. Our school system teaches us to follow routines, follow the system, but there is something truly incredible about the human potential that we can learn about by being more self-aware. No need for us to be hard on ourselves when procrastination takes over. We can be more understanding, and instead of self-criticism, try self-compassion. Be kind to yourself in those difficult moments. When you experience some sort of a struggle within, I feel life is one big relationship, and it all begins with the relationship you have with yourself. To build that solid relationship with yourself, that is understanding of all those feelings and have the ability to transcend these or those feelings. Bird's eye view, which creates peace within. Be okay with the thoughts and feelings that cause inaction. And place your energy on thoughts that empower you to feel greater than your current situation. Replace your current belief system so the inner dialogue shifts to a more productive and effective version of you. Also, study yourself, study your inner world. It holds incredible potential. And the more you learn about your potential, the more faith you will have in your abilities, which means you will do more of what you already know how to do. Whatever I speak about only requires one thing, your decision. Once you decide to create more faith rather than fear in your life, you will start to shift. I don't know about you, but I want to live my life with faith, not fear. It's just a state of mind. You can shift it. It requires specialized knowledge and directions, but it's absolutely doable. You can remove procrastination from your life by impressing new, empowering beliefs and emotions. Thank you for joining me today. I welcome you to join our private Facebook group called Mindset for Business Success, where we go deeper in this knowledge. I appreciate your time today, and we'll see you next time.